So I'm going to be doing, I think the audio in this derps out, like where there is no music or there is no sound sometimes. That's why I was just listening to like random music last time, which I normally just save for chess. All this Baldur's Gate stuff confuses me too. I don't know what the crossover with that is. But yeah, like what they did here that seems to be a bad decision, aside from the tutorial taking so long, is the fact that they don't even give you like a free arena run to start, right? Like you need 10,000 gold and I don't have hardly 2,800. Keep playing until the event ends. Or maybe that's exactly what they're letting you do here. Each week try out a different way to play. I'm not sure how that works, but 10,000 seems very expensive for somebody who, just give them one free one, and if they're good enough to, win like 7 games like in Hearthstone, then they get another chance. Let me just use like my default one and get my ass beat by him if he wants to play, just to see how a master does it. But of course, the difference is 60 card deck would kind of imply that a lot of them are going to be lands. That's the thing you have to keep in mind, right? Like, and I think that's the element that just at the outset, it seems like a pretty good decision to turn it into mana, just because that's what a lot of games are going to come down to is like, you could win, but you draw a land, or, you know what I mean? Like, you'll top deck a land, or you'll need a land and you won't get it. It's just going to be one of those annoying things sometimes that happens a lot. So as far as packs and stuff are concerned, I think this one is just giving me. I didn't even look at the deck construction and stuff. Quite frankly, all I wanted to do was do an arena. I don't even really, you know what I mean? I don't want to get overwhelmed by all the different cards, and that's why arena is so fun, because it's a great way to learn a new game that you haven't played, because you'll see a lot of the cards in there anyway. Give you my code. Oh, I thought that was you. Or maybe it just shows that anyway. Here, let me do. So, like, what does it for? I don't even get this. What does it let you do? Like, all I did was beat the tutorial. So, like, this is my first experience with it ever, right? I don't know anything about it. So, what would I do? Choose your deck. Wait a second. I thought I'm supposed to draft with this. Uh. Actually, I shouldn't say it's my first time ever doing this, because I did at least beat the tutorial before, and I sort of. I don't know how all this UI and stuff works. So, yeah, I did like at least a tutorial. So basically, I got to the same exact point, and then I never actually did anything. So, how do you just. Welcome to Midweek Magic. Try a different way to play an arena. Bring a 60 card deck using only commons, uncommons, and basic lands. Now, that is my type of thing where it would benefit me because I. Okay, so let me look at what I want to do. So there's the 5 signs, sort of, and that I just figured out that's kind of what the logo is, right? Where it has like the 5 spikes up on it. That must represent the different types. So you have the sun, the water, which often overlaps with flying, which is confusing. This is like the poison or just the death. And this is fire. This is like forest. I really like the forest stuff because it's all about bringing out big minions. That's often a theme of mine, where it's either something super convoluted and creative, or it's just like bring out big sticky stuff, like the Kaiba thing in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Where your Kaiba, his whole philosophy is I'll just summon the strongest monster and you just can't deal with it, even though there are plenty of ways to deal with it. Often some of them are not legitimate that Yugi does, like the fucking Karibo multiply and poison it somehow, fuse it with the mammoth graveyard. Like he actually cheats, but like using mirror force and stuff would work. But the more important point is just like give me that 5 mana 10/10, and that's all I want, right? And if you can beat it, fine. But like, do I even have that? It's a 5 mana 10/10. It just seems so satisfying to do that. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I actually have a lot of the right cards though that I wanted. Like how much would that cost to craft? Of course I don't have anything to craft with probably. Hey Davey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm playing the game of his expertise here. So wait a second. Where is that 5 mana? That's just one of those meme cards, like the what was it called again? I forget. In Hearthstone, the 4 mana 7/7. Everybody lost their shit over that because it's just such good value. Oh wow, there's a lot of what the fuck? These are still one cost. How long has this game been out for? The arena version. I thought it wasn't that old. How could there be this many cards? Or am I just doing something wrong? What the fuck? Okay, so it confuses me whenever it says two and then one. So that means that it's three total. At first I thought it just meant two, but they had to be the tree, right? So it's showing you the number and then the type. But it's two of anything and then one of the tree. So I guess what I could do, like my Hearthstone thing, which ruined my collection, is the fact that I could disenchant everything that I don't intend to use just to make something I do intend to use. But then in the long run, I'm going to regret doing that. 3 years? I guess that's not so bad. I mean, Hearthstone has been out for like 10 years. So that's just on its last leg. But yeah, this is an impressive number of cards. So we're already in 6, so I must have missed it. Where is that card? It's a 5 cost, but it looks like there is no number. It's just 5 trees. So it's the same cost as this. A 4/4 is the same cost as a 10/10. Maybe I can't even craft that. Maybe it's so good that you have to get it from some special event or something. I just can't reconcile that value. Like, sure, there's cards that get rid of minions, but that's kind of insane. I guess I could just search by high health values and stuff. That's always like a completionist goal of mine too, is like to collect every card in the game, but that's easier said than done. That's like in WoW when I said, oh, I'm going to get every class from 1 to 60, like in WoW Classic. It never happens, but it's a cool thing to, have in the back of your mind. And that's often one of the most immersive things in any game is like knowing that even if you played all day every day or something, you would never be able to do everything that there is to do. So it makes it feel more like a real world or something that's just like you can't possibly do everything, so it doesn't feel like it revolves around you. You're just a piece of the puzzle. So I can't actually find that one. There must be ways to filter it, like show me something that has a certain attack value. Oh, it's just making sure. Save failed for an unknown reason. Okay. You have 2,800 gold? Yeah, which isn't even enough to do an arena, though, is it? Because it's like, oh, do you craft with that or do you craft with something else? Earn gold by winning. And oh, yeah, the other thing that confused me was like, yeah, this is going to be totally free to play, too. Like, I mean, it's impressive, actually, in a way, how much I did with Hearthstone being free to play. Like, imagine getting Legend. Well, I guess it was well into the game, though. But oh yeah, it confuses me that they call the so like I guess the fact that it's called magic means that even the minions are considered spells. Like you're casting a spell in order to summon it. So it'll say like a creature spell or a minion spell. Even though there are also spell cards, it's just kind of a confusing terminology. Right? Like just the act of doing that. Oh, is that Davy? I thought that was Cookie for some reason. Okay, I don't know how any of this works. You have to go here or huh. I thought I accepted it too and nothing happened. I don't know if 2,800 is good or not. They do have all these bonus objectives and stuff. Yeah, what I would do in a game like this, like I did in Hearthstone, is like I would just play arena non-stop for like the first month, and then I would worry about constructed. But even then, I'd be super far behind because everyone else has been doing that for so long. You can challenge me again. I don't know what happened to that one. I hit accept and then it just bugged out. Yeah, let's look at like the pack shop and stuff. pack. So how much does it cost to buy one? I should definitely not do this though. You can buy one Mythic Alchemy pack. I don't know what Mythic even means. So 260, this must be the real money. This must be the real money transactions that you can do for gems. Best one of one game, except I don't even know what deck I'm using. Let's just use the... Wait, I thought this had the 10/10 in it already, though. That's weird. How was I able to do that if... I don't get what that card is. That's going to be like my... What do you call it? Like my MacGuffin device that I'm trying to... My whole goal in playing this will be just to get that one card, even though it doesn't seem like a legendary or anything. So I'll keep the lands, but these are kind of too expensive, right? So I actually don't even understand how the mulligan worked, because I kept doing it and then I ended up with 0 cards. It didn't give me any back. So I was wondering to myself, like, you know, it's supposed to... You don't mulligan cards just to get rid of them. You do it to get something back. Oh, this is a sick background too. What is this? Some kind of celestial stuff. Alright, so this was a bad opening hand that I should have mulliganed. That is something I should actually figure out how to do. Because obviously it's too high cost for you to get anything out of it. In fact, it ends your turn automatically because it knows you can't do anything. Which I kind of don't like. Because you might want to use that turn. Well, I guess then you should just wait before you play what you're going to play. But like in Hearthstone, that's a big thing where like you'll only have one thing to play, or you might not even play anything, but you'll sit there for the whole time that you have until it ropes just to be able to plan your next move or understand what the opponent's going to do. So you get a forest. So he's using a very diverse number of lands. This is like a legendary land or something. What is this? Zagoth Triome. Enters the battlefield tapped. Cycling 3. Very complicated. Okay, I can't think about that. So you get World Shaper. Whenever World Shaper attacks, you may mill 3 cards. When it dies, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Oh, that is a pretty good effect. Wait, but what does that mean from your graveyard? All land cards from your graveyard. But why would you have any in your graveyard in the first place? How do they get sent there? I've never seen that. Like, this is not considered your graveyard. Wait, where even is the graveyard? Because I saw it in one of the other games, but... This does seem really interesting, though. I love some of the card themes, especially the flying type. So is there like a forest flying hybrid? There must be. To get like the biggest, strongest flying types. Well, it wouldn't matter how strong they are, though. That's what I keep forgetting. But it's kind of like gaming the system because your minions heal every turn for free, which is a ridiculous effect. Right, that's incredibly strong. There is almost like there'd be a deck concept in most card games that allows you to do that, to heal your stuff. But here you don't even have to. So a 10/10 is like if they can't kill it in one turn, it just heals up to full. So like everything else. So this is only good if you have 2 of them. I guess I'll do this. I don't know if he's like giving me a chance by not summoning stuff or if this is part of his strategy normally. Next to your library. So 4/4/3/3. You may as well attack. I'm not sure if he has any... I don't know if there's like a trap card element. There are sometimes like instant spells, but there are no trap cards. Mill 3 cards, sure, why not? What is that? Oh, I get it. Mill means put them in the graveyard. It doesn't mean you look at them and choose which ones to keep or something. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana to any one color, where X is the number of shrines you control. Sanctum, so I'm assuming these are shrines? Yeah. Legendary Shrine, Legendary Shrine. mAgIc 21, I don't even know what that means. Oh, it means that was like the set that it was a part of, maybe? I don't like how there's no music, or the audio in general in this game seems kind of bugged out. It'll play for a bit, then it'll stop. Oh, boy. Let's see what kind of guy. I mean, you wouldn't expect to beat somebody this good and this experienced anyway. And especially, he's going to have better cards. Yeah, I didn't notice because, it's not like there's a designated spot. It just appears when you start to put cards there. So I guess I never understood that. Yeah, like, how does it, what the fuck was that? Each player who controls a creature with four or greater draws a card. So that means he didn't get to draw one at least. Open the gate, search your library for basic land or gate, put it into your hand, then shuffle. When Rampaging Brontodon attacks, he gets +1/+1, so it's a 7/7. I mean, let's show just the strength of some of these beefy minions. That's what I'm all about. So now I have enough land where I shouldn't have to really worry about it. This so suits me. But the problem is I'm not going to have enough of these. What the heck is that card called? The 10/10. I'll have to look again, but I couldn't find it even in the crafting. Oh, maybe it's not a craftable card. It could just be like a base set one, so maybe I already have it and it just didn't show up. Like how they have the starter cards in Hearthstone. I'm going to keep comparing it to Hearthstone because it's the ultimate irony that people always said Hearthstone is copied from mAgIc, like it's a watered down version. But now in this, in a way, feels like Hearthstone because it, at least in terms of the UI and the digital sort of feel to it, every card game pretty much copies that now. That's the one great achievement of it, like the whole personality of the characters, the emotes, the voice acting, the sort of comical tone of it sometimes. Just that whole tutorial. So how much time does it actually give you every turn? Like, there's something where it'll give you like a hourglass, so maybe you can save them for any time that you need them. It's not just like one turn, it's a cumulative thing, possibly. I think I've seen something like this where it just can't attack. Enters the battlefield with 4 task counters. Can't attack or block. It loses all abilities and has remove a task counter. Then if no task counters on it, just so you can get rid of it. But how do you do that? Like it'll take maybe 4 turns. So it's still on the field though, so that could be of some value. Target creature deals damage equal to a creature you don't control. So this is the kind of thing that you have to do just to hit something because you don't have the ability to attack things directly, except their face. This is like this whole game is a hunter's dream come true, right? Face is the place. All you can do is go face, so you don't even have to worry about it. And it's up to them whether they want to block or not. So I should be able to do both of these now. Oh, I guess I sometimes misunderstand how that works. 1/1 counter on Jungle Delver, so I'm just kind of going all in. So if he allows this to sit, I can buff it, and then when it enters the battlefield, you have it fight something you don't control, but it's only a 4/4, so it kind of has like a charge option. Such a big creature, 4 mana, 7/7. Wait, what is this? Oh, it's just a way to get rid of the charges, I guess. So now it has. Wait. Now it has 3, so that's not as good as the other card that we saw that just. It did the same thing, but it had no negative effect. You couldn't get rid of it. It just made it useless. It can't attack, it can't defend. Cultivate is what? Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put one onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand, and then shuffle. So, I mean, that's good just in the sense that it's a 2 card draw, right? Like the whole cycling through your deck. I don't know how big that is in this game, but in most card games, you know, like Pot of Greed is so busted. All it does is let you draw 2 cards, but it lets you cycle through so well. Add a tree. I do want this. This is very good. Put 2. Now, what I'm doing here could be called overcommitting, which basically just means like he's going to have some AoE that clears my board, right? And I'm playing into it. You should hold back and let him either have to use it early or something like that. But he is taking quite a bit to the face. Could just be trying to show off, like he hasn't summoned anything the whole game. Or maybe this is how the meta becomes. Or this could just be like a cool, fun theme deck that he's doing that is like all about not summoning stuff. But if this Indrik thing... Oh, did I forget to do that? No. If this thing comes back alive, I would be presenting lethal right away. So, well, but it's going to take 2 more turns. So this is destroy all. Oh, here we go. I called it too. Just like in chess. I understand the concept, but I don't stop it from happening. I'm overcommitting. I'm just trying to display to people that's what overcommitment looks like, and you shouldn't do that. Because when you have like 2 or 3 things on the board, that's enough to justify what he just did. So why would you go even further? So this you maybe want to save. You can add the tree thing. I don't mind that one. But the spider's good, and so I'll do this. Now you could maybe add the tree and combo into something, but not this time. So the 7/7 is gone anyway, so the whole idea of removing that debuff is pointless. The beginning of your pre-combat phase, add X mana to any color. Where, I mean, this is kind of what I was wondering too, is how common is it to have multiple lands? And it seems super complex to do it, but I don't know how if it would be that common really. But this is about as extreme of an example of that as you can see, because he has like one of every kind. Common opponent, play your Deathwing. So this looks pretty good. This would counter a flying type, which is pretty awesome as well. And it doesn't tire out from blocking, which means it could attack and block in the same sequence, like on their turn and your turn, assuming it can survive. I forget when they heal. I think they only heal on your turn. Or do they heal at the end of every turn, maybe? So this is alright. What does Trample do again? Creature with Trample deals access to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. Well, what does that mean? Like, if it hits a minion, it'll deal the excess, but if it's hitting their face anyway, it's not going to do anything. What, it's going to hit you? If you hit their face and it overkills them, it'll hit you through the screen. And why does it distinguish planeswalker from player? Like, just because it's an AI or something? Yeah, what's with the lack of music? How hard is it to just have a... The heck? Oh, it's maybe me who did it. Whoops. I take it back. Why the heck would that be a 0? I love this background, but you can't choose stuff like that, right? It's just completely random. I guess they could give you like a home court advantage thing, like you flip a coin and it decides whose board gets chosen for both players, or I guess it wouldn't matter. You could just choose your own because you could see yours and they could see theirs. It's not like you both have to see the same one. Like even with the card backs, you could. What's this card back? I guess I can't see it too well. Oh, here we go. It's like a heart with a fist. I'm kind of Cupid Valentine's Day special type thing. I guess you can just see how many cards he has. So my position actually doesn't look bad in my simplistic mindset. I have a charge if he does summon something big. Oh, did he disconnect or something? Okay, so I'm going to try to see if I can't find that one after this. And I guess, like, what are you supposed to do when you start? If you can't do an arena, or maybe arena just works differently than what I think. It's not letting me draft, it's having me build a deck and just go in with like it's more like a tavern brawl in that case. Like it has a certain criteria that you have to meet. You can only have common, uncommon, this and that cards. Like my team limited in NBA 2K or something like that. Or did I disconnect? Like, what's going on? No, it looks like I'm still online. Why does my bitrate always derp out like that? Whenever I look at it, it changes. And then when I don't look at it, it's... Or, like, when I'm not looking at it, it went to 56. And as soon as I tab to this, then it goes back to 6. See, I wonder what the time metric is. Like, is it 2 minutes a turn, or... Because there always has to be a criteria in games like this where you sort of, you give your opponent a certain amount of time, but they can't have unlimited time or they could just troll you. Yeah, this does seem really interesting, though. I think I got into it maybe a bit too late for this particular version, at least. So those will be like my 3 card games to go through. Between that and chess, like that's all I could do. But obviously, I want to do my main series too, which is like a hard mode and a story game. Which that's kind of a bad thing I did with Kathy Rain because I was like I did the second episode. It's just bad timing because then I had to move, so I haven't been able to really do a long enough stream to justify a main episode like that. 30 per turn and 30 per for every card played, or yeah, maybe 30 for every interaction that happens. Like if you have a chance to. That happens so much in Yu-Gi-Oh! Even in like the ones where you play against the AI, like some of the DS games and stuff. Every single move that happened, it would ask you, "Do you want to activate something? Do you want to activate something?" That's because you have like trap cards that can be activated during every single phase. So it keeps asking you, harassing you, spamming you like Navi would. Do you want to play it? Do you want to play it now? Do you want to play it now? Every single opportunity. So you could troll your opponent hardcore if you could wait 30 seconds for each of those. 30 minutes per turn. That's what it seems like. What kind of expressions are there anyway? Hello, oops, good game, your go. But they didn't even bother to voice act it. So what's the point of that? In 30 hours. This is very unusual for me to stream such a short amount of time. I'm not sure what happened. He might have disconnected. I just don't know what the established lore of this game is because it's not from a video game. It's just from the cards over the years that I'm sure people are familiar with. But, it's very hard to do that just to make, like at least Yu-Gi-Oh! Has the anime and Hearthstone has Warcraft, the whole universe. I don't know what the Baldur's Gate overlap is either, but I love these generic NPCs that tutorialize stuff for you. Like there's that little blue dot in this, or like in Destiny. That's one of the most boring characters ever. Like they try to be a little cheeky and funny with it. I forget what it's even called. That little thing that follows you around. He's not funny. He's not serious enough to be taken seriously. He's just kind of a dud of a character. They try to make him like, oh, haha, he's funny like the thing from Portal, right? That is comic relief. But that doesn't work either. I don't know. I think he AFK'd out, and I wouldn't dare concede against a player of his caliber. But actually, like, really, something should happen. Like, I should get the win then. I deserve it. I'm in such a good position. I got a 4-4, a 1-1. Maybe I could multi-box. I'll make a new account and do a tutorial. Arena crashed? Is there a Navi card? Did mine crash or did his crash? Whatever, I'll just concede. I don't care. Defeat. So as long as I can just get back in and do something. Acquired just from playing a friend too. I'm not even gonna look at these because like I don't like to overwhelm myself. Like we'll have plenty of time. I'll look through decks. I'll build decks. It's just too much. But I do appreciate how many fucking cards it's giving me. Okay. Oh wow, I'm getting actually a good amount of gold though. You could just farm gold by playing friends. That means, but I'm sure there's a limit. So what is it that I'm not understanding about the 5-5 thing? Or I mean the 10-10. I guess I just don't have it. Oh, I have 2 of them. Look at this. I don't even get it. Look, he gets +1/+1. Fuck that. Just summon this for less. This is 5. This is so broken, dude. I don't care what expansion, what meta. Just look at that. Double stats. It used to be considered, like by Hearthstone logic or anything like that, any game where you get like a 1 resource per turn, like a 1-to-1 ratio was considered good. So a 1-1 for 1 is good, a 2-2 for 2, and so on. A 3-2 for 2 even was considered good. How the fuck are you going to get a 10-10 for 5? I guess it's because, it costs 5 of grass only, of the tree only, which means you have to commit to it, but why wouldn't I commit to it? So actually, I'm pretty much okay with just keeping this one for now. So would it let me play like Arena or something? You got so many cards. Yeah, just for playing one game. Yeah, I guess he crashed out. That's fine. So that deck seemed very interesting where he just wasn't playing any minions. I'm not sure if that's a common thing. I guess it is called magic, but even summoning stuff is considered reward track. Oh, does it make you do this like a mobile game? Mastery pass. Yeah, nobody wants that. Okay, let's see how this works. Draft. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. Is just a draft of some kind, but it won't let me do it. For 10,000. That's what I consider to be arena, right? Is where you actually get to draft it. So let me try to do this one instead. So you would think I would meet the criteria just because I don't have any good cards to begin with. But apparently they aren't good enough, so let me try to understand what the format is here, or what the criteria is. Which cards would... I guess those are the only ones that would be legal. So is the 5 mana 10/10 must be a rare card? Where is that? I guess it still would be considered mana, wouldn't it? They wouldn't call the resource magic, like, oh, it costs 5 magic. You'd probably say the type too. It costs 5 trees or 5 water or whatever to make it more clear. Oh, I thought this was like a legendary or something. I don't know what that means. Like it can be played by multiple classes or it has some kind of day-night effect. I have no idea. Creature, human, werewolf. Well, it's not nearly as fun if you can't do... I guess I just don't have enough cards. Like, what other modes are there that you can just do? It's the Shrines deck. Okay, I'll just add you. I don't get why they do this numbers at the end of the name. How many people with that username could there be? 14774. So like what is the core format that I can actually do? If not like just play. But play what? Play alchemy play, standard play, events, new, limited, constructed. I guess constructed is really what I'm sort of looking for, but I'm probably going to get my ass beat. Color challenge. Now, is this against a player or... Yeah, I think I'm done with that stuff. That's the AI, or I think for the last one, you play a player. Alchemy play, historic play. This would be like wild. Historic uses cards from throughout. Yeah, this would be my favorite format once I actually get a good collection. Sideboard, 7 cards or less. Practice... or with our AI computer, standard sets dating back to October 2012. Wait, what? But this game didn't even exist in 2012. What does that mean? Like, these aren't the same cards that are in the real Magic, right? There must be... I mean, some might overlap, but a lot of them must be different. Historic uses cards, okay. Recent sets with additional balance changes. Only cards from recent sets. So which one would favor somebody who's using new, or I mean, like very basic cards? Additional balance changes. It's interesting that they do these too. Like people who bitch about stuff being overpowered can just play this instead. But if assuming those balance changes are good, you would just make this standard. Why would you need... So they're basically calling this imbalanced, that they would need to do that. Ranked play Brawl. Brawl uses legendary creature planeswalker as a commander, but of course I don't have a legendary creature as the base. Search for shrines. Okay, let's see. Go to my decks. Go to my collection. Or how did I even see that before? Because I can just pretend like I'm building one. Or just shrine. Maybe I just don't have any. That's just a NPC. Oh, I can go to craft and see how they work. There's not actually that many then. That would mean. This is Go Shintai of Shared Purpose. It costs 4 of the sun, or 1 of the sun and 3 of anything. Vigilance, which means they can attack and defend. Wait, this is actually a minion, though. I thought those were just sitting off to the side. Oh, maybe they count as minions still. The beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each shrine you control. That's like a continuous spell, basically. You can think of it as. It rewards you for playing a certain way, or at the beginning of it's flying, but that doesn't. Oh, I guess it would just make it harder to target. But it didn't seem like I could attack them. Well, I mean, you can't attack anything anyway. But when you do, target player mills X cards, where X is the number. I swear the term mill was used in something else to identify. Mill doesn't mean you throw it in the graveyard. It means you can look through and decide which ones to keep. So it's like mill 4 cards and you get to keep 2 and the others go in the graveyard. But in this game, it seems like it just means they all go in the graveyard. Right? Player mills X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. Go Shintai of Hidden Cruelty is 4. 2, 4. Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy the target creature with toughness X or less, where X is the number of shrines you control. Interesting. So you could just do these over and over. And if they can't destroy these, then there's nothing they can do about it. So once you get a good number, that'd be insane. You can just keep destroying everything every turn. First strike. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, it deals X damage to target player, where X is the number of shrines you control. Very, very interesting. Chronicler of Worship costs 2. When it enters the battlefield, put a random shrine card from among the top 7 cards of your library into the hand. It perpetually gains this spell cost 1 less to cast. Okay, that's not really that exciting, or it's too complicated to really understand right away. Trample does what again? Deal excess damage. I don't get that they're treated as minions, because I don't think you're really going to fight with them or block with them. They're more so meant to just sit there and have their passive effect pay off. Click on historic format. Okay. Historic. Oh, there's even more. Which ones did I look at? Looked at that. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life for each shrine you control. Let's see like what the most expensive one is. 4 and 1. This looks like a legendary. Sanctum of All. So it requires 1 of each. So you would obviously have to commit, but it must be really good. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, then shuffle. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, oh my god, ability triggers an additional time. That is exactly what answers my question about how common is it to have a deck that uses more than one type. I'm sure what's more common though than having like all the types like that is probably some hybrid decks that just have 2, right? So you'll commit to like a fire sun deck or like a water grass deck. There must be a lot of those. And it might still favor one. Like you'll mostly have grass, but you might just have a little bit of water, something like that. I kind of just want to play some random games, but I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I can't do that as far as I can tell. I don't have enough cards or whatever. Let's just do some random stuff. Standard is going to be recent stuff, which I can't even do that. Like, what can I do? On the Hunt. Oh, maybe it gave me that just so that I can actually play. Okay, I do want to be able to play with this. So it works in every single one except for this. So you can do it in Historic or Alchemy. So let me refresh. What are these again? Throughout, I kind of want to see that. Yeah, show me all the cards. Don't restrict it. That's always my pet peeve. Like, I always complain about that in Hearthstone. Like, the whole idea of these standard formats is bullshit. The whole fun of the game is to have every card ever to exist to combine for whatever fun and interesting effect. Sure, some of them might be overpowered, but then that's their fault for making them imbalanced or not being able to keep up. So I think here, speaking of a multi-element deck, let's just play a bunch with this. Why not? You have all 11. Nice. 3,800 gold, making bank. Yeah, only 6,200 more before I can do a single arena run. But of course, I'm going to average 7 wins or whatever the equivalent is to be able to, you know, endlessly repeat it. That was the most satisfying thing to do in Hearthstone because if you could do that, you could get infinite cards. Because getting 7 wins would give you enough to do another one, guaranteed. So I need to understand the mulligan. I don't know how it works. It will return one card to the bottom, but it doesn't give you one back. So I don't get that. Yeah, explain the mulligan here. Each time you take a mulligan, you draw 7 cards, then decide if you want to keep that number or take an additional mulligan. Once you've decided to keep a hand, a number of cards equal to the number of times you mulligan, whatever, I'll just keep it. Because one time I tried to do it and then I ended up with 0 cards, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? I didn't get any back. So this is good because it gives you a mana of any color, but specifically, it'll give you a grass. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana. Oh my god. Again, it rewards you for sort of having... Oh, he's kind of playing the same thing, too. It's always the most fun playing these games at the beginning, right? Before you're jaded or just salty about the whole nature of it. Everything is just fresh and new. Okay, that's fine. That's not a very strong use of it. But it does hold back my... This is so much like the Druid deck, and it makes sense, because Druids are all about nature and the wild. So you could say Hearthstone copied that, because they're all about gaining mana, too. And, like, putting out big stuff. So, Trample does the excess damage. So in this case, like, you could attack with impunity, as long as there's only the 1/1. But I'm sure he's going to summon something more. Oh, you get a little bit of singing in the background, too. You have 6 cards when you mulligan once. Yeah, I must have kept doing it over and over. I probably did it 7 times, and I kept assuming they're gonna give me the other cards back. Wanna play a game? Yeah, we can play one after this, sure. Like a gym trainer in Pokemon. Well, gym trainers exist to be beaten. I just beat Pokemon Y permadeath first playthrough. Think about that. So choose a blocker for what though? Just for that? It's not gonna kill me. It must have some precedent to... Okay, fine. You had to play a little instant spell, right? It's like a quick play spell from Yu-Gi-Oh! So you might think, oh, I shouldn't have done that then, but I'm exhausting a card that he would have been able to use sooner or later. So I could do this. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with a 4 or greater, draw a card. But you wouldn't want to sacrifice... First of all, this doesn't have 4 or more. But you wouldn't want to sacrifice a turn just to put that down. You can do that in like a dead turn. Now this is the point where if you keep drawing lands, it can screw you over. Because you don't really need more than 5. So I wonder if I can just take out a bunch of lands from my deck and just... Rumbling Baloth. 4/4. So I mean, still, I just want to pack the board as much as I can. And just let him deal with it. My favorite thing to do. I think the healing element is kind of bullshit. The fact that everything just heals every turn. So now I will get the card draw out of it too. That's one thing I haven't seen a lot of, but is very important, is going to be cards that cycle through your deck or give you card draw. So I think the tempo is in my favor so much now that I shouldn't possibly be able to lose. Target creature deals damage, but it doesn't actually cause it to attack, so it's not going to die. Oh, first of all, I guess it doesn't matter which one, but... Yeah, so it doesn't actually hurt mine either. So now I'm going to commit fully, which is probably a mistake, because now if he has some kind of board clear AoE, I could be in trouble. But he's almost dead. I wonder how the ranking system in this game works, too. Legend Magic player, incoming. Resolve with what? Put a 1/1 counter. I mean, I guess you can just do it. You have extra forests to play, but it has nothing to do with that effect. So now he just shouldn't be able to stop it. It's as simple as that. 1/1 counter. You can do that at any time from the hand, even. You can only block with the 1/1, or I forget if you can block this the next turn that you put it down. But it's over. I like that it lets you overkill for BM. Like it doesn't just stop at 0, it'll get you to -6. Not too bad. So it's not matching me up against super hardcore players or something, thankfully. But speaking of a super hardcore player, let's match ourselves against one. When you mulligan twice, you have 5. So I just kept doing it like a moron. If you mulligan 7 times, you win. I get it. It's just, see, the way that mulligan works, like in Hearthstone or in some other games, is like you'll put the card back, but then you'll draw another one. Here, you just give it up, and that's it. That's kind of an interesting way to look at it. So I can put it. Oh, baby. I could not have asked. But you don't really want it in your opening hand, but you do want it. That is like my favorite card so far. Just the value proposition that it represents. Give me a 1 mana 2/2. Give me a 2 mana 4/4. Give me a 3 mana 6/6. Give me a 10 mana 20/20. Name is Trainer Cookie. Luris of the Dream Den. I don't know what that even means. If you beat me, you earn the mythic badge. I mean, I think his cards are just going to be too good, first of all. Jungle Delver isn't that good. It costs 4 just to put a +1/+1 counter. But I don't have anything else, so... Wait. 3 and 1. So why does it let... Oh, it lets you do it even if you can't do it. Yeah, sure, we can play again. That's interesting that it just... Maybe just because we're friends, but if that was like a random opponent, it should have given me the win just because, you know, it shouldn't allow them to just leave like that and freeze you up. Gilded Goose. Flying. When Gilded Goose enters the battlefield, create a food token. 1 and 1 tree. Oh, he's using a tree deck too. Or at least probably partially. Sacrifice food, add 1 mana of any color. But that's what you have to distinguish. Adding mana is not the same as adding land, because mana is temporary and land is permanent. It'll give you a mana every turn. When the witch dies, draft a card from Cursebound Witch's spellbook. Okay. Put a 1/1... Wait. Put a 1/1 counter. Okay, that's like the quick play thing you can do, which is not really that important right now. Food. Oh, I love the animation on that. I love cards that have moving graphics on them. There should be more like that in all of these games. Because, like, why not? That's the whole beauty of a digital card game. It's not constrained in the same way. When Rune of Might enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, he gets +1/+1, has trample. As long as enchanted permanent is... Oh my god, this is like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Level card description. That's like a whole paragraph. Too long, didn't read. So, 4/2. Don't want that. Add a mana of any color. Now, I don't know if that's really worth doing. I feel like this is the better tempo play just because you're gonna try to keep up. So if I attack, you can just block and kill it and heal back up. So, I mean, you can't control whether you kill their minions or not. Like, if I attack with this, he could block or he could just face tank it. I think that's probably a big meta thing that people do. They probably face tank up to a point. So, like, there's no reason to give up your minion now. Well, unless you want to kill mine, but you might just face tank up until you get to like 10 HP or 8 HP. And then it's like, okay, now I have to sack some stuff to stay alive. Because there are cards like the Fireball that does like 6 damage to the face. Just like that. So I wonder what the highest damage spell card like that is. Like a Pyroblast that does 10. Since you only start with 20 HP, 6 is actually a pretty big deal. But I think your health can go above 20 if you sort of overheal or something. So why are these two blinking like that? What does this have to do? I guess I will do that just because I don't want his board to get out of hand. So he gets to draft a card, which I'm assuming is very good. Play Tree Stick. Let's do, I mean, I don't have a choice but to do this one. So now I could use the effect to get another mana, but it's not gonna matter. Or I could do that. So his board's not too imposing yet. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. One, so he would need a grave one, which I don't, oh, he does have. A swamp. So why does he look so different than mine? Basic land, Trespasser's Curse. Enchant player whenever a creature enters the battlefield under enchanted player's control, that player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Under enchanted player's control. Create a food token. I'm going to lose to food. Lose to a pigeon. Alright, so let's see how he deals with it, right? There's no reason to hold back. Like, I'm just happy with that. I don't even care about that. I don't care what he's gonna remove it with. Right? It's just the principle of it. Summon a 10/10 and just deal with it. And if you can't, you're screwed. Why does this have the coolest card animation of all? When none of these have, like, at least the golden versions in Hearthstone have animations to them. Like, look, dude. As an additional cost, you cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, discard a card, destroy. So they equate discarding a card to destroying a minion. So at least there's a cost behind everything, like a magic jammer, trap jammer type. Well, trap jammer doesn't actually have a cost. I don't really know now what to do as much. I guess this is one good thing because you could use it to destroy the goose because it has reach. I don't really know what I can do about that. It's just going to keep doing damage and healing him. Oh, he's not overhealing now, though. There must have been a specific card that allowed their health to go above 20, which is obviously not being used now. 2/2 Ravenous Squirrel. 3/2 Luris of the Dream Den, which is... Oh, is that just like the companion? This card is your... It kind of gives you that hint, though, then. So you'll know exactly what kind of deck they're playing or something. Lifelink, once during each of your turn, you may cast 1 permanent spell. But wait a second. It still doesn't matter because unless he blocks with it, I won't be able to target it, I don't think. I'm actually not entirely sure how this works. You could give yourself another mana, but it's not going to matter right now. So let's just attack and then see what happens. So yeah, that doesn't even solve the problem because... Okay, he's going to sack a creature for it at least. The problem is... Let's say they were rushing you down with 3 flying creatures, right? Not just sitting there with a 0/2. So this is like a 4/4, 5/5, 6/6. And it's like, oh, you summon a creature with reach to be able... Oh, I guess you can block it, and you otherwise wouldn't be able to block. That's why it's good. Rune of Might. Enchant permanent when Rune of Might enters the battlefield, draw a card as long as... This is just the power creep sort of aspect, right? I'm sure this is a newer card. The early cards are not going to have this long of a description, but with every expansion, they add a new line, new line, new line to the cards where it just becomes more and more complex or better. As like Hearthstone at the beginning had such simple, beautifully simple cards. Losing to food. Sacrifice, you gain 3 life. So he has a very healing heavy deck. Oh, now he's above 20. Oh, it's because I hit him, I think. Not because he couldn't overheal. 20 cents. So he's just going to get up to like 1,000,000 HP. I wonder what the max you can have even is. There might not be a max even. Or it might just be like 30. Okay, so we have a pretty good board. It's going to get even better. So if he has some kind, but his cards are kind of running dry. In a way, I almost don't even want to do that because now I am overcommitting like crazy. All it would take is an AOE to be able to do this. I'm just going full aggro and well, I'm not going to attack with the 4/4, so he could do whatever he's going to do. 4/4 because if I do the 3/3, he could just sack it into this and then it's gone for nothing. Oh, wait. Oh, I can't go back though. I could have used this then to counter that fact. That's the biggest thing you have to keep an eye on is like his cards are running dry, so he would need some kind of crazy card draw effect. He's gonna face tank it. I probably should have attacked with this too, because he wouldn't have been able to block it without giving this up. And actually, doing that would be good because he's gonna keep buffing it forever. Yeah, we've seen that. Although I guess I haven't seen what cards it actually right click to see which is Cauldron. Okay. Another food token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, those two synergize pretty well. Adding a +1/+1 doesn't matter, but I could block and sack the spider, which I don't even really want to do. But I guess I might have no choice but to do it. Oh no, I should do this one instead. The spider is just too good. The fact that it can block flying creatures is amazing. So you can attack, and I still have enough force to do this. I gotta get rid of that stupid thing because he's gonna keep buffing it forever. So he's not even he's not even gonna attack. Okay, let's. Oh, now I can't do it at all. I might have to sack the spider, in fact. Oh, but I could attack with these two and then buff if I want it. Let's just see what he does. Is he going to block with the 5/5 or is he going to let me hit face since he's healing for so much? He could also block with this here. He's going to block with a 1/2, which allows him to draft the book or whatever, draft a spell. He's going to face tank because he's confident in the healing effects here. Okay, I'm fine with that. So that means this is very valuable to him, but there's nothing I can do about it. He's just going to get it up to 16 and one-shot me. He doesn't even have to worry about it. In fact, now it'll be out of reach, even with reach, because I can't even do the 1/1 counter anymore. If only I had that 10/10 now. I do have another one, actually. This is the part of the game that gets frustrating, right? Because you have 7 mana, but nothing to do with it. And you're going to keep top decking more lands or some garbage that costs like 1. That can be very tough to deal with. So you just need more card draw. There's nothing I can do about it now. I mean, I could still block it, but it's almost like I don't want to. Torment of Scarabs. Aura Curse. Enchant player. At the beginning of thing, you lose 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land or permanent. A non-land permanent or discard a card. Well, that gives me an incentive just to not have any cards in my hand, just to play everything. Or no, you would specifically have to. Does that mean it would stay there forever? Or of that player's upkeep, loses 3 life every single turn? Discard a card, sacrifice, decline. Just do it. Okay, we get another one of these. Now he could just block and there wouldn't be anything I can do about it. But what if I attack with everything? Then he's not going to be able to. Oh, can I finally take it out? That is a ridiculous combo with the food and the squirrel. So you can actually do that. Oh, I thought it was over even, but it's not. That's the only way you can get rid of something ridiculously big like that is to double block it. Two, he has a lot of damage over time stuff too. Sacrifice a non-land permanent. I'm assuming that would just be one of these then. I just have to go super defensive mode. Even I had given up there, which never happens. Okay, I guess justified that way. I mean, he just has better cards at that point. Power creep. Okay, we can do one here if he wants. Interesting though, that squirrel combo is good. I wonder what other kind of things it synergizes with. Have all kinds of decks. What's your favorite like element to use out of the five? If you have to do like a core element thing. Whatever type of theme you want. Let me know. Well, just don't do fire, because that would have the advantage against the tree, I bet, but not really. Crazy flicker type. I like the presentation of everything in this, though. It's not bad. 4, so I would still need, like, maybe it's easier to earn it than it seems like, but 10,000 does seem like a ridiculous amount. I even got the 5-minute 10-10 that I wanted. It just didn't do anything. Like, well, it's just too easy to remove stuff like that. That's the weakness of it. But again, it only costs 5. So compared to other 5-cost stuff, it's still way better. Right? Just the core value. You don't even need an effect on it. Zombies Angel. I guess I don't have time today, but we can do another one a different time. I don't even know what those are, so I wouldn't know the difference, but I did like all the damage over time stuff he had, or stuff that just punishes you gradually for like summoning something, or every time your turn starts, it just deals 3 unless you give something up. Samurai. Historic Anthology 6. See what's entering Historic as well as the first ever Explorer or something. Rotation events reward. It's almost like they have too many formats. Need more removal cards. Yeah, I don't think I have any. In fact, they could remove that. Maybe just stuff they could remove minions, but I mean, this is just a base deck that you start with, so of course I wouldn't have anything special. Unless they just give you... I think there was one of them that I had, but maybe not with this deck. Maybe his client's just bugged out. He's too good, so it won't even let me challenge him. Like, he knows it's an unworthy adversary. That was a pretty cool thing he was using, though, with all the shrines and stuff. Like a continuous spell, continuous trap type of thing. Resume, but I couldn't even start that because I don't have a suitable collection. How do you even just see your collection? Pretty much you can just pretend like you're going to make a deck and then do it that way, but select deck. I think I do like this element a lot, though, so for now I wouldn't mind sticking with it. Just the idea of summoning big, beefy stuff for efficient cost amounts. So you're giving up any kind of nuance of effects just for core value. Final form your strongest deck. Not right now, but I'm sure it would be good once I actually get better cards. What's with his client? It crashes and then now he can't play even. Here, you can cancel and maybe try it again. It won't even let me cancel. I think it's just bugged out. There's a lot of things that are scuffed about this client, not the least of which was the audio like last time. What is with this? I guess I could just close it and reopen. Yeah, report a bug. I could have done that a lot by now. Still in beta after 3 years, eh? Profile. It won't even let me do anything. Oh no, every time you open it, it takes like an hour. It doesn't like... Oh no, maybe that was just the first time for some reason. It said it was like gathering something. Unless it does it again here. It took forever. Yeah, let me try once more. Okay, challenge. The Goblins deck, Vampire, Spirit. I think Goblins, I understand, is at least like a rush kind of deck. Opponent has canceled the challenge. Okay. Let's see what kind of other pack stuff. It does seem like it's giving me a lot of stuff very generously. And normally I would be like super OCD about looking at all this, but I don't really want to worry about it right now. We can just look for it later. Cast 20 spell, blue or red spells. I don't even know what the difference in those two are. Maybe like one is defensive, one is offensive. For something, one orb reward. Some kind of level system. This is the free to play currency. This is the pay to win currency. Yeah, let's try to understand what the proposition is. Great deal. Most popular. Okay, let me do one more, just against somebody maybe random. 'Cause I wouldn't stand a chance against him anyway. How do you do it again? You go here. Which one did I do? Alchemy play. You put in the free card codes? No, I don't think I know what those are. No mistakes, only happy accidents that may lead you to try a new strategy. That's my whole philosophy. Exhaust every possible position and mistake so that there's none left eventually. It seems like there's quite a bit of lore just because this has been around for so long, but free pack codes. This is like some exactly like 2K type stuff. If it wants to give you stuff for free, why doesn't it just give you stuff for free? So I guess I don't understand even the concept of mulliganing if you don't get anything back. You will need to do something because you can only have 7 at most. So put the lands down. These guys give you more to use. So it doesn't cost anything. It just means you can do it like once a turn, I guess. There's a tab in the shop that allows you to type pack codes. Okay. Maybe that'll be part of my free to play thing. I'm not allowed to do that either, even though it is free. Anyway, you can add that, which doesn't really matter. Maybe it'll allow me to do this during his turn if I so choose, but this wouldn't really be worth it. Add 1 mana of any color. So we're seeing a lot of people using the tree stuff anyway. To create a 2/2 green wolf creature token daybound. I don't know what this daybound, nightbound stuff even is. Entered. Okay. I can't block. I'll just have to eat it. Because even the buff wouldn't be enough in that case. Do whenever a new set comes out, they make new promo code. Okay, I see. Let's see what else. Always do the forest. There's no reason I can think of really not to do it. You could even do this. Oh, you know what you could do? Well, first of all, you could do both of these. But you could combo this with this. I think that would allow me to get rid of the 2/5. Which in this targeted creature you don't control. Or it doesn't. Oh, shit. That was a waste then. It doesn't let you. Or maybe I didn't have enough tree stuff. No, but I shouldn't have had to do both of those just to summon it. I did something wrong there, obviously. But you would think theoretically that would work. They must be quite confused as to what I just did. It does 2. Yes, +2/+0 until on the turn deals damage equal to a creature you don't control. I don't know what this is. Azusa's Many Journeys. Or wait. Whatever. Okay, so they can't block either now, though, is the point. You can also do the Mystic, so you can add... That's basically the same thing, isn't it? Woodland Mystic and this basically are the exact same card. They cost the same, they have the same effect. There's nothing really to block against, or I wouldn't want to anyway. So I can gain quite a bit, so that makes up for some of the lands later. So if anything, you want lands less with a deck like this because you can just get them from these. And as long as you don't block with them. Now we have to deal with our own karma, like the beefy stuff that I like so much. I have to remember that mechanic about being able to double block, though, because that saved me last time. You could do this. You could save that for later. No reason not to do that. I guess I could even activate the effect. And then you can get a whole bunch more, but I don't have anything to do with it. You could attack with both of these, but he could block both and not lose anything. So I'm not sure really what to do about that. Oh, you could keep activating. Wait, what? Why does it say it costs 3 then? Or does that mean you can do it 3? That would be confusing. I guess I just can't do it. Unless I don't understand what that black stuff means. Maybe it couldn't have blocked. Exile the saga and then return it to the battlefield transform under your control. I'm a little bit uncertain about this. I guess I could double block it. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, these are like literally a book you have to read to try to understand what's happening here. Reaches skyward. As this saga enters, search for library. Oh my god. That is often the sign of power creep when stuff gets so overly elaborate with descriptions and stuff. The beginning of combat, if you control another thing, put a 1/1 counter. Doesn't really matter. This is attack with the 7/7, so I can get rid of it. Block, block, block. You don't even need to do that. Pass the blockers. Wait, what? Get +1/+1 for each land until the end of your turn. 4, 8, 12. What the fuck? Okay, I guess I'll just throw that to the wind for now. Wait. And it was able to still bypass and hit face. Oh, it has trample. I didn't realize it was that good. So that prevents you strategically from blocking against it because it gains it during, well, blocking and killing it. Because it gains it during their turn only. If you play ranked match, it will pair you with similar level players. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like a major issue. Like they're kind of... Wait, how do you even do alchemy? Oh, here. So alchemy, why can't I do it? What? I don't know what that means. Best of 1. It doesn't tell you what the rank is though. Bronze or... I guess it'll make sense once I do it. Okay, I'll do one more. Is a good deck you played against even worthy of challenging? Really? It looked almost like... I don't know. It looked fairly basic to me, but maybe some of those crazy spell cards and scriptures and stuff. It seems like everybody's using what I'm using too, like in terms of the type. I guess this guy isn't. So I'm confused about this one because I thought I added it for like, or maybe I had more than I thought. It seems like it costs 4 to add it, which is pretty expensive. You could do this, and gain 1. You'd also hit him in the face, which I see no reason not to do. So does the ranked reset every month, like at the beginning of the month, like in Hearthstone? Okay, you can do this as well. You could gain a single thing, which is a 4/4 for 4. See, actual typical value, unlike that 5 mana 10/10 thing, or even the 7/7 is better than maybe I give it credit for, because I have that thing that I just lost to. I just didn't realize how busted the effect can be. You can summon the spider, so again, we're just hoping that he doesn't have a board clear. I don't know how common those are. Right, like a flame strike, something that just wipes my board. There was that one card I think Cookie used or somebody just used that destroys everything. So this looks like a pretty imposing board. I have a whole bunch of land that I'm not going to have anything to do with, though. I feel like just removing some of the land could be good, especially in this deck where you have so many minions that, for fuck's sake, destroy the target creature if this spell was foretold. Okay, so it wasn't foretold, was it? Or maybe that's what he's doing now. Okay, maybe Scry is what I equate with. Still not a bad position. Scry is what I equate with sort of Mulligan, or wait, no, Mill. Too many confusing words. Okay, we need a card like that myself. Poison the cup, just something that destroys something on the board. What a novel concept. Okay, we're actually getting decent value minions though. So whenever it attacks, it gains attack equal to +1/+1 for each land. That is actually way better than I thought it was. But it costs 7 and it's gone. I mean, look at how many of those he has. That's so dumb, dude. He just foretold it. Now he just played it. Yeah, it's called removal. Really powerful. I guess I didn't know how common that was going to be going into this, because obviously I don't have any. When the theater enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. Interestingly, that's exactly what it's called in Hearthstone. How common is like hard removal in that? I guess it's not that common, really. Like you typically, well, I guess every class has some of it. This is going to be the annoying part where I just don't have the ability to do anything. Right? Like I'm really going to whittle him down with 1/1s. But yeah, like Assassinate or Hex or Polymorph. What are some of the other ones? Like Siphon Life, but that came out a lot later. When it enters the battlefield, you can attack, but since he's not doing anything, I guess this card functions in a very similar way. Imagine using 1/1s to actually do this, but it might work. He seems just so committed to what he's doing, all fancy-like, but it's not actually going to matter. Dude, okay. But at least that didn't hit face instead. We're really going to beat him with 1/1s that exist just to add trees to you. If you have removal too, it becomes more like chess. You have to strategize your plays and what to remove and what not to. I just think I'm going to get triggered by the land so much. And now I'm just going to keep drawing lands and I don't need them anymore. How many lands are in a default deck? Or can you not even change how many lands you have? Like, do you have to have a fixed amount? I guess I have some time stocked up, which means I could just take as long as I want just to troll him. He's just not doing anything on the board. Like, I don't care about all this stuff. Discard a card, sacrifice this, draw a card. Sacrifice, add 1 mana. Like, how much you actually summon something, dude? Scry 2, then draw 2. Foretell is 1/1 water. You can change it. Some decks have 16, some have 20, 24, 26. Bleed dry. Target creature gets -13/13. If that would die, this turn exile it instead. So when you reduce something to 0, it dies, unlike in some games. Like even in Hearthstone, that doesn't happen. It can be a 0/0, right? And it still stays there. I think he's just going to lose to this, which is kind of sad, but I'll take it. Like, really. Just stuff the board with strong stuff is good enough. But you start with such a piss poor amount of removal in like your base decks, it seems like, at least. I don't think I've used a single removal, in fact, all day today. Like Execute, I'm just trying to think of all the ones that we know from Hearthstone. I actually still don't have enough, so he's going to be down to 1 HP. Imagine losing to these. This is the most BM bullshit ever, but I'm not doing it to BM him even. Like Execute, Assassinate, Hex, Polymorph, and he's just dead. I don't like how they didn't bother to voice act that. Like, what's the point of the character then? Bronze tier 4. Constructed rank. Okay, good. First one ever. The beginning of a beautiful journey. It is giving me gold pretty generously, but it probably won't keep doing that for too long. It's hilarious he had too much removal and a poor base deck. Depends what your mana spread is like. And it definitely depends on like having stuff like that you can summon that just gives it to you. But yeah, if you don't have super expensive stuff, you don't even have to worry about it. This looks like some old gods type stuff. What was that thing in the middle? Oh, it shows me that cool picture and now I can't even find it. All this microtransaction shit. That's what I like though. Like I always benefit from that because other people can spend money on it and I never have to. So I get something free, right? Like Hearthstone was like that. I can just appreciate it and other people are footing the bill. It's the ultimate scam if you just don't ever buy them. Yeah, let's see what actually some of the removal stuff is. I like how that term is actually the same. Right, so many of these phrases are different from what I'm used to. Even the mulligan is vastly different. 10-10. Or you could just probably search the card effects. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, destroy something, gain 4 life. Or what is it normally called? Like advanced terms, name of cards, this and that. What did like his say there? Just destroy. Maybe the tree just doesn't have a lot of it, or I'm only looking at what I have. There must be some decent removal for tree stuff. Destroy target creature with flying. Destroy target creature with flying. So it seems like it counters that somewhat. Why are there so many different ones of the same thing? Just like different card appearances? There's like 6 of them. Destroy. Oh, 7. What the fuck? Destroy artifact. In a way, it doesn't even really suit the style though, because you want to remove them with your, well, but you can't choose to do that. Like with the whole idea of summoning the beefy minions, you would want to take out theirs with yours, and yours would be strong enough to be able to do that, either to block or to hit them. But since you can't guarantee that you'll attack them, you might need to do this sometimes. So you can definitely counter creatures with flying. Hardcore. Destroy artifact or enchantment. How about destroy actual minion? Creature without flying. How about that? Reach, cleanup crew. When it enters the battlefield, whenever a creature is dealt damage, destroy it. This could synergize with certain things. Like anything that's an AoE, like a weak AoE. That's like the quality consecrate type of thing. Do this and then just do some weak little AoE to clear their board. Whenever a creature opponent, because you can't guarantee that you'll hit them with an attack, or it at least prevents them from blocking without losing what they have. Yeah, I don't actually see anything that good. That's just straight up. It's all about creatures with flying. So I guess that's the only removal you get. Huh. Maybe that's the price you pay, because all this has to do with artifacts and enchantments. Good amount of gold if you do the daily mission stuff. What you should do is hit the craft. Yeah, that's what this is, right? Should add it. Yeah, but I'm obsessed with this tree thing now. I'm sure the other ones have it. Destroy artifact. That's what this guy was using. Like fire. Destroy all artifacts. Select format. This should mean that it's like every format. Destroy target artifact. Where is like the stuff that he just used that was like... Holy shit. Traditional alchemy? Maybe it doesn't show you everything? Destroy artifact. Just show me destroy minion. These are obviously way too complicated to just be simple removal. Deal 3 damage to a target creature. I mean, that works as a sort of removal, so this is like soft removal that does damage, but hard removal is like a polymorph or something that guarantees it, right? So there was a lot of meta to that in Hearthstone. Like, you would save the polymorph for something bigger, like Ysera's coming out, so you wouldn't use it on like a Dr. Boom or 7/7. You'd use it on the 4/12 with the crazy effect. Destroy target artifact. Destroy a land. We haven't seen too much stuff that does that. Deal 2 damage. Destroy. Yeah, what was all the stuff that he was just using? I guess I should remember the names of it. Because I don't really get. This is what he was just using. And he did it like 3 or 4 times. It must be something that isn't a fire spell, or it must have a different phrasing to it. White is best for life gain. Red is best for damage. Green is best for ramp. Blue is best for counter spells. Black is best for removal color. Or best for. I wish you could see like a backlog of what you just played. Because I swear that guy just had a whole bunch of that. Destroy target creature. Target creature. Let's look in all of them. Oh, that's in the lands too. These are all in the white. Oh, it's just separating it like that. Oh, it's you want it to be exact. Let me put the little like that. Destroy target creature or planeswalker its controller investigates. This is all to do with the skull set. How about something like to do with the fire, or of course this stuff is all going to be with flying. So I guess that is the trade-off you make for the tree thing. I still don't get that. Huh. I really don't know. I guess I could look. Good thing I record all this. I could just look back in the VOD and see what the heck did he just use against me. But I am very happy with that 5 mana 10/10. That is a very fun thing. And I'm sure there's other things like that too. Use the bone shards. That must be for this set as well. So get craft. Or what? Or maybe it's not. Oh, maybe you have to keep selecting a certain format. You would think it wouldn't matter. Like, it should just show everything at first. You have to select for historic. Whoops. Wait, why can't I even do that now? Okay, let me try again. Barrier of Bones, Bone Shards. As additional cost, you have to say, oh yeah, this is the one I was talking about that's like, Magic Jammer or something where it makes you pay something to do something good. So it's not just like, oh, it just destroys it for free or just for the cost of the spell. It's like, what value would it equate to do the same effect? Instead of discarding something, you have to just pay like 4 mana for it or something. Like, let's see if there is a card like that. Additional cost, sacrifice a creature. I just want something that's basic, like it just reads destroy target creature and nothing else. No upside, no downside, just a pure cost. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. Death Touch is like poisonous. Bone Dragon, exile 7 cards. I guess there's not as much as I thought there was. I guess Alchemy will be a good format to do. Although I forget even what it is now. Let me read them again. Alchemy is the cards from recent sets and additional balance changes. Historic is. Oh no, I think historic is what I wanted to do. Why did I just do alchemy? Well, whatever. Either of those look good. You wouldn't want to do recent stuff because it's going to be power creep and I'm not going to have any of it. From recent sets with additional balance changes. Wait, I can't even do this. Oh, you have to choose the thing. Good idea to have lower mana removal. That exists, but it's like 4 mana or more. Well, just to get an idea of like what the game considers to be, the value of that effect. So like, let me try to think in Hearthstone, like 4 is polymorph, 5 is assassinate, execute is only 1 or 2. But I guess the fact that it has to be damaged is worth something too. So if this, it costs 4 or more, that means like, because that's a very strong thing to be able to just do for no other cost. Okay, that's good for today. See you tomorrow. Good games.